I am very excited to share my curriculum choices for this upcoming kindergarten year for my son, 24-25 school year. My name is Coral from the Relatable Homeschool Mom. It is 6:29 in the morning as I have started recording this. I'm going to go ahead and have a sip of coffee and let's get started. So let's do the basics, reading, writing, and arithmetic. For reading, I have chosen this Play to Read curriculum from Planning Playtime. It is going to be a really fun curriculum. My son and I have already gotten started with Unit 1, the 2-letter blends, and then it moves into 3-letter words and so forth. And it is a play-based program, so you get to use things with like Play-Doh, cars, Fruit Loops. So it's already been really fun. I'm excited about it. When I first got it, I thought that I was just gonna have to buy this binder. Well, I had to make my own binder, but I thought I was just gonna have to buy this Play to Read program. I then eventually realized that it didn't include some of the key components, and so then I did purchase the Sight Companion Pack, which includes worksheets that go with it, as well as the sight words. Then the only thing is that my son doesn't have, in this program, doesn't have actual books to read that he gets to hold in his hand like an actual book. So I went ahead and picked up these My First Readers from The Good and the Beautiful, just because I think that they're so pretty and they're actual books that he gets to read and hold in his hand and practice some of these early skills, and they have beautiful pictures in them. So I got this for some extra practice. Once he already knows the skills in the Planning Playtime curriculum, I am going to bring in this for extra practice. Now for writing, I did get the handwriting curriculum from The Good and the Beautiful. I love, if you flip through it, I can see just tons of fun activities. Of course, he needs to work on his letters, but one of the things that I love is that it includes some drawing activities, tracing activities, coloring activities, and he really likes doing that right now. And so I think it'll make it really motivating for him to practice writing his letters, but then knowing after he's done with that, he gets to do a more fun activity. And it's still going to be very helpful for his fine motor development. For math, I have chosen the Math with Confidence series. I know this is extremely popular right now in the homeschool world, and so I had seen some other reviews on it, and I thought it looked so perfect for my son. We've also already gotten started on this program. We're a few weeks in already, and it's going really well. It has a lot of games in it that are just so much fun, and then I love that the worksheet process is not very heavy, so he doesn't have to do a lot of writing, but it is reinforcing those skills in the 1 page a lesson that he has to do. Okay, now for the fun stuff. Let's start with science. So for science, I'm going to be using the Seasons of Field, a literature approach to natural science for primary grades. So this is really fun because every week that you do a lesson, it follows a pretty easy sequence where you do read a story that week, you do some field work, which is sort of their experiment, very nature-based field work though. You do a notebooking section, and you also get to you get to watercolor using this book every single week, Watercolor with Me in the Forest. And then you do have a sort of nature walk that they call a slow down and wander. And then the other thing that comes with it is this, in addition to all of the fiction that you're reading, you do use this slow down 50 mindful moments in nature book. This is sort of your spine of your nonfiction material that goes with this study. Now, my parents wanted to be involved in the homeschooling as well, and my mom really likes science, so I did pick up this Sparks and Stars curriculum from The Good and the Beautiful. I love that it's something a little bit different than the nature study. It gets you learning about the planets and gravity and things like that, and so it's a little bit different than the nature study, and it's very, very quick lessons, and so not a big deal if they do one lesson every few weeks. It'll just be something fun that they can do hands-on with my parents, besides just running around crazy at their house. It'll be something a little bit more structured for them to do when they do spend time with my parents. I gotta go get the social studies materials, which is that way. For social studies, we are also using the Beautiful Feet U.S. Geography, a literature approach for primary grades. So if you can't tell, I'm doing a lot of literature-based programs, and that is because I just think that the kindergarten year should be full of lots of good books. And that's what I remember in kindergarten the most, was my teacher reading books to me during circle time. So I just want to make sure that we are getting exposed to a lot of different concepts through good, fun books, just to make kindergarten feel just really fun, story-based. And so this program focuses on just U.S. geography, learning about basic landmarks, oceans, continents, and then you're also studying literature through the United States. So you start on the east of the United States, and you're learning about the Appalachian Trail, and you read a book about grandma hiking the Appalachian Trail, and then it ends in the western part of the United States, and you're reading a story about the Southwest Sunrise, a book about the Oregon Trail. And so it just sort of guides you through the United States through travel and adventure, and then you also get to read lots of good books that come along with that. And then the core spine that goes with it is this Geography from A to Z book, and you do some notebooking in it with it as well. And I have a full walkthrough or flip through of this curriculum that I can link below. Now, that may seem like a lot of reading as it is, but with the science, you're really only doing one book a week. And then with the geography, you're not even reading an entire book every single week. And so we're gonna do geography once a week, and you won't always even finish a full book. So it really wasn't that much reading to just do one science book a week and a portion of a geography book. And so we are going to be using the Gentle and Classical Primer program to add very focused readings every single week. And what I love about them is it's essentially a reading plan that's covering a variety of topics. So the first one that you're covering is every week you're focusing on a story in the Bible. So you're doing Bible, and you're also doing some scripture every week. You're focusing on a manners and hygiene concept from this book called Everyday Graces. Then you're also learning about theology through this book called Theology. So it's a very kid-friendly way to introduce some of these biblical concepts. That is a great guide for me because I honestly would not know how to teach these concepts without this book. But then when you're buying the curriculum, you're not just buying the reading plan. She actually gives those for free in her downloadable teacher's guide, but you get different resources as well. My final curriculum choice to share is Spanish, and I am using the curriculum called Los Pollitos, and this is from Spanish Mama. It is a website that I follow, and she has a pre-K to second grade curriculum that she sells. It's mostly used in the classroom with teachers, but it is amazing and very easy to implement in homeschool. I did major in Spanish, and so it makes it a little bit easier for me since I do have that background. But what I do love about it is that for every book that you're making and building, she does include an audio portion of it, so you could listen to a native speaker read it, which I love since I'm not a native speaker. She has all the words and the flashcards for you, and so I have printed those out, and I am using those to just play games with the words that you're focusing on. Every single unit has a story that you're building that you can even watch on her website, and a native speaker is reading it as well. And so everything that she does have native speaker audio in order to use that. And even though I majored in Spanish, I really like to have that audio component just to make sure that the accent that they're hearing is authentic. So it is a really great program. It eventually builds you to be able to learn the song called Los Pollitos Dicen, which is a very popular kids song. And so by the time you end the unit, you should have all of the vocabulary to know that very popular and fun song.